here with Rebecca, who is the owner of this beautiful property and this accessory dwelling unit. And today she's going to tell us a little bit about how this all came to be and kind of what her background and history is.
So I have a background in flipping homes for about 8 years now, and found this beautiful home here in San Mateo. It's a Spanish style house that needed quite a bit of work. So I was very excited to actually land this project, not just to purchase the home, but just to make it what we want.
So Rebecca, maybe you could give us an overview of the accessory dwelling unit we're in now and what that project looked like.
Sure. So initially when I saw the space, my intent was to do a 1-bedroom in-law unit.
And this was originally a garage and with attached workshop.
Exactly, yeah. It was kind of a long office going parallel to the garage, and the garage is more than average as far as like size-wise and width. So I saw a lot of potential with that as far as being able to fit a 1-bedroom, not just having it a studio. And then to our surprise, once we got the measurements, the architect actually found out we could fit 2 bedrooms in the unit. And so I was really excited to hear that.
Because when you think about like how you spend time when you live in a space, you spend most time in like the kitchen, living room area rather than the bedroom. I mean, I find for me personally, I just basically sleep in my bedroom.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you had to, you know, I would much rather sacrifice the square footage in the bedroom and have smaller bedrooms.
Exactly.
But like a really nice size living space.
Exactly. So when actually the construction started and I was working with the contractor, he was asking, would you like to make the bedroom bigger and sacrifice a little bit more of the common space, or make the bathroom smaller? And you know, there was a lot of questions about shifting the size of the various rooms. And I said, well, I think the common space, like you said, is very important to kind of have that open because most people spend their time here.
And I think this kind of highlights the necessity of really good design. You know, when you're working with small spaces, it's so crucial that you're working with an architect or a designer that, one, really has a grasp on the regulations and for, you know, the jurisdiction that you're building in, but also can design small spaces, because I think that the skill set required to make 640 square feet feel comfortable and homey is so different than the type of skill set that you need to design a 3,000 square foot house.
Exactly, exactly. So one of the things that we actually were going to do for the kitchen was put an island in, and we decided to hold off just to see how the space would work. And so I'm glad we did, because it makes everything still feel very open.
Yeah.
It would have felt a little bit congested as far as like the kitchen area. So we kind of played that by ear, and so everything worked out really well, yeah, as far as what we envisioned. You know, all the details around that.
I think one of the challenges with accessory dwelling units is that there's not a ton of data available for what resale values are,
Right.
because the legislation for this is so new that a lot of people are just starting to undertake these projects for the first time, and they don't typically have the intention of then immediately turning around and selling them. So how did you evaluate that, since there aren't a lot of data points for you know, units that are on the market with, you know, a brand new beautiful accessory dwelling unit on the property?
I kind of looked at it from different angles. I looked at how much it would cost to rent out in the area. I always like to have plan A, B, C, you know, depending on which way the market sways. I looked at several different scenarios. I did look at some comps that were close to, not many like you said, to what I have here today.
And when you say comps, do you mean adding the square footage of this unit and the square footage of the front house? So you were looking at comps for houses that were much bigger than the primary, or?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at both, and then also just from my experience in San Francisco, most of my flips were in San Francisco prior, and so just kind of looking at, you know, historical facts on like how much it costs just to add square footage, whether it's an additional ADU permitted or not permitted. I think it's really important to have it permitted. I think it makes a huge difference, because a lot of people don't pull permits to do ADUs.
Well, and we were talking about how reasonable the permit fees were for this particular project, and
exactly.
I mean, not in all jurisdictions it's not that cheap. I mean, it ranges anywhere from, you know, on the low end you could see something like close to $5,000 all in, all the way up to, you know, $20,000, or if you're in a coastal overlay zone, it could be, you know, closer to $40,000. But
exactly,
the resale value of the house, and also from a risk mitigation standpoint of renting a unit that's not permitted puts a huge liability on the homeowner.
Right, absolutely.
And would you replicate this project again? Could you see yourself building an ADU on another property?
Yeah, definitely. I think, again, I'd have to look at the numbers of the square footage of the main house and if it's a detached versus attached.